So in this video, I'm going to be talking about ranking every single month of 2024 based on my personal experiences. And as I'm recording this, it's February the 9th. Tomorrow's actually a public holiday here in Tassie. So I'm just going to talk about the previous year, even though it's been over a month since it finished. My other video on January the 1st was the video from when I went to Melbourne, so that's why I haven't posted this just yet. And I've also been busy and also lazy, I'm going to be perfectly honest. So I've made the thumbnail and I'm just going to record this now and then upload it. And I'm also going to batch produce some more content. So let's get into it. So 13 months ago, over a year now, January 2024, and we went out on the boat for New Year's Eve. And then something sticks out in my memory. Mum and I went for a drive. And I took some really, really nice photos down on the South Arm Peninsula. That's something that sticks out in my memory. We then went to Melbourne and we stayed in this really, really nice hotel in the city centre. And I also got my learners. So I turned 16 at the end of the month. So I guess February was when my hype happened. But January I did get my learners and we went out for dinner for my 16th. So I'd rank January was pretty good. I would rank that out of 10. I would say it was like a 9 out of 10 because we went on holiday and I got my learners. It was probably the most eventful month. But then in February, I got my first job. I went back to school as a year 10 and I did more driving because in January, I only had it I'm born on January the 30th, so I only had it for basically one day until February, and then 4 weeks. So February was when I started my first job, went back to school and was driving. So that was really eventful. Nothing much else happened in February. It was quite uneventful. We were planning for my leavers dinner, which was in March. But other than that, there was nothing else really in February. Right, March was a big month. So we went up to the East Coast. I made a video about that. We stayed at a little house in Swansea. We hung around Swansea for a few days. That place was really, really nice. Some friends came up. And later, that was at the start. And then later in the month, I had my leavers dinner. So that was a big, big thing. And that had been hyped up since November of 2023. So that was a very eventful month. And I just realised I forgot to rank February. It was good, but not very eventful other than those two things. The start was eventful. The end was not eventful at all. So I would give it like a 6 out of 10. March was a really good month, and that formal night, if I could go back to it, I would. So I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10. That was a really, really, really good month. And April was school holidays. So we finished term 1. We were on term 1 school holidays. I don't think we went away at all. I went skating at Woody Skate and Play with my friends. I'm just trying to think of things that stick out in my memory. I was still relatively happy at that point, and you're going to see where I'm coming from with this in a second. At April, I was still relatively happy. I'm starting to get a bit of nostalgia from April. I think, it takes about 6 months, 6 to 12 to get nostalgia from something. It was 10 months ago, so that makes sense. Nothing else really happened, just school holidays. I remember I made a few TikToks. I played heaps of Minecraft. Overall, I give it a 7 out of 10. Right, May. May, we went back to school and I had work experience, which is obviously, that's worked out very well now because I'm working 2 jobs, one of them which is that one. That was good. That was only at the start though. Other than that, not much else really happened in May. The 2 at school, 3 of the houses went to work experience the first week, and that was us. And the other half did a project, it was often a lot of excursions. And then the following week, it was vice versa. So then we'd already had work experience. We did all the activities that the previous one had done. And I feel like May was when I started to realise I was really sad, upset, like mid to late May. Actually, it was probably early May. I started to feel upset and I couldn't pinpoint exactly why that was. But yeah. Right, June. The worst month ever. So I'd say I'd rank May maybe like a 5, maybe even a 4 out of 10. I was starting to get more sad. June was the shittest month, to put it simply. So we went camping, and first trip in the camper. So we launched, I suppose you could say, the camper. This was around the early to mid-June. We went away in it, and that was nice, but I was very on edge, and there was things that triggered me, and I feel like I did bring the vibe down when we were camping. And then I went to the doctor's mid-June, and I got prescribed the medication that I take now for my anxiety. So I've been feeling better on it, but that was when I hit low of low of low, and was just terrible. And other stuff happened that I'm not going to discuss, but there was other incidents that happened in June, even after I was on my medication, that made me think, oh, wow, this medication is not working. But it has, because in July I started to feel better. But June, shit month, I would rank it a 2 out of 10, or actually a 1 out of 10. In July, we went away for the second time. This was a bigger trip. We went up the East Coast again. We went through Swansea, Bicheno. We stayed at a few other places that I cannot remember the names of. We went quite far up, almost up to the northeast coast of Tasmania. Nothing else really happened. It was school holidays, so that was the reason that happened. Funnily enough, at McDonald's, when I was working in July, I got this really bad scar from touching the UHC, which is the warmer that keeps the food warm. And I touched it, and there's metal that holds the food, and I touched it, and it was bleeding, obviously, at the time, so I went and put a Band-Aid on it. But this was 7 months ago now, and it's still got a scar. It's slowly fading. But that was just a one-off thing. Other than that, July was really good. I felt my sertraline, which is the medication I was taking, was starting to work. And obviously being on school holidays, I felt really good. So July, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Right. August. So one of our close family friends had a massive birthday party. That was really, really fun. Me and my friend, we walked around at like 1 o'clock in the morning. That was also really fun. At school, we went on we went to an art expo. A few classes, we all went to an art expo. That was really fun as well. And the sertraline, the effects of it were definitely working at this point. I feel like all these months were really uneventful because I've got nothing else really to say about August. Mid sort of month, maybe a 6 out of 10. September. So September was when I got my new phone. I went on another art expo. Like, we went to this little shop and we had a look at some stuff. Our class at school did. I got my new phone. This was sort of before I was getting into my walking. But overall, I think September had a very positive vibe. School was back. Yeah. What else to say? I'd give September a 7 out of 10. And October, I loved October. I was really into my walking. I was going for walks and I was vibing to music when I was walking. And I think the idea that it's only 3 months until I was turning 17 and could get my P plates, which I do have now, by the way, and I'm going to make a video on that too. It really hit, and I loved going for walks, and I used to just go for short walks around our neighbourhood, but now I was going for longer walks, and I'm still doing that now, even though I do have my Ps. So it was also the weather was warming up in October. I reckon that's got to be my favourite month, and it was only 4 months ago, and I already feel nostalgic. I'm like, if I could go back to October, I would. So I'd give that a 10 out of 10. I reckon that would be my top month. Yeah. November. As we do every single year in our family, like our full extended family, we go to the River's Edge Wilderness Camping in November. It started in November 23. We did it last year, and we'll obviously do it again this year in November. And we go down there, and I participated. All the males there participate in the swim. So it's November. The water, like I said, it's heating up, but this water runs straight off the mountain. It's freezing cold, and we all get in it and we swim down to like the deep pond, and we call it the Platypus Pilgrimage because it's said that there's platypus in that, or platypi, I don't know which one it is, in the lake or the river, creek, whatever it is. That was fun, but that was probably my highlight of November. We didn't have exams. We just had lots of tests at school. So exams were actually mid-year in June. Probably another reason why June was so shit for me. because November, like in 2023, November, December was our exams, but 2024 it wasn't. So I'd give November a 7 out of 10. And December, I started working, so the place I did work experience for in May, started working there officially in December. We went to Melbourne. Christmas, obviously, I cannot complain about that. That was really fun. I participated in the Secret Santa this year because I was 16, almost 17, and I was deemed a grown-up, and I said, well, I'm working now, so I might as well just participate in it. So we had Christmas, we had New Year, lots of driving lessons, lots of practice so that I pass in January, which I actually didn't sit my test until February. But yep, so that was really good. And Melbourne, obviously I love going to Melbourne. So I went there in December and in January, and I was planning. So what else made December really good was that I was also planning for the trip in January. So that was also a really good month. And I'd say that was also a 10 out of 10, like October. So thank you for watching this. I may or may not do like a tier, like good, great, great, good, okay, bad, really bad, and then the worst of the worst, which you already know what that is. And I'll put that at the end of the video.